Hello guys, welcome back to my channel Algorithm Minds. My name is Asan Khurram and in this channel I teach programming skills in Python, R and MATLAB programming. I also teach theoretical as well as practical programming skills in data science, data analysis. So I request you to subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell icon button. I have been publishing series of video or tutorial videos on my YouTube channel regarding MATLAB programming. These tutorial videos are specifically designed for people who don't know how to write a code in MATLAB. So I will teach you from basics. I have already taught you about how you can define a matrix, how to solve system of equations, how to plot in MATLAB. So in today's tutorial, I'm going to teach you how you can actually use loops in MATLAB, how you can program your loops in MATLAB. And we are specifically going to discuss about for and while loop. Okay. So for this purpose, we are going through a series of exercises where I write the code and I will explain the code to you so you can understand how this loop is executed. Okay, so just a brief introduction. There may be a situation when you need to execute a block of code several number of times. In general, statements are executed sequentially. Programming language provides various control structures that allow for more complicated execution path. A loop statement allows us to execute a statement or a group of statements multiple times, and following is the general form of loop statement in the most of the programming languages. So we have like a condition. If that condition is true, then we have conditional code, and if that condition is false, then will be so on. Okay, so how many types of loops do we have? We have two types of loop, while loops and for loops. Then we have nested loop. While loop repeats a statement or a group of statements while a given condition is true. It tests the condition before executing the loop body. For loop, on the other hand, execute a sequence of statements multiple times and abbreviates the code that manages the loop variable. Let's jump on to while loop. So while loop repeatedly executes statement while condition is true. The syntax of while loop in MATLAB is such that we have while, then we have expression, okay, and then we will base our statement will execute if the Boolean expression is true. So expression will be a Boolean output where it will be either true or false. If it's true, it will keep on executing. If it's false, then it will not execute and it will end the while statement. Okay, so basically you have while, you will write while, then you write the expression. For example, if this number is less than this, if this number is greater than this, if this number is equal to this. Okay, so while this is the expression, it will test the expression whether it's true or false. Based on that, if it's true, it will execute the body, whatever that is present within the while body. And then finally we write end, that defines that this is the where we ended the while loop. Okay, the while loop repeatedly executes program statement as long as the expression remains true. And the expression is true while the result is non-empty and the contains all non-zero elements, logical or real numeric. Otherwise, the expression is false. So this is the Python MATLAB statement, my block of code, which we are going to execute right now. So let me just copy this block of code here and run it on a separate script so you can actually visualize the results in command window. Okay, so this is a loop. Okay, so first of all, we have defined a. We have declared a variable a is equal to 10. We set its value to 10. Okay, then if you recall that, we will write while, then within those round brackets we will pass the statement or the expression that will test whether this expression is true or false. So in our case, the expression is a less than 20. So we are judging whether a is less than 20. If it's true, it will execute the body. If it's not true, it will end the while loop. Okay, for example, if it's true, okay, let's say right now our condition is true, there are a is 10 and 10 is less than 20. It will execute this code of block here where we print the value using fprintf function. We will pass two input arguments. The first one is a string with %d that incorporates our variable. in it. Okay, so basically it will print the value in place of percentage d. So it will print the value of a in place of percentage d. Okay, once we done that, what we will do, we will add 1 to the existing value of a. Okay, so whenever the while loop is executed, it will keep on updating the a value, and a value will increase from 10 to 11 to 12 and so on till it reaches the value of 20. When a reaches the value of 20, it will test this statement 20 less than 20, which is not true. Then this while loop will end. So this is how a while loop is executed. Let me run this block of code for you. So now you can see a started from 10, and it goes all the way up to 19, where when a is updated to 20, the expression is false, then while loop will not be executed and while loop will end. So this is how you can execute a while loop in MATLAB. Let's move on and discuss other loops as well. So let's discuss about for loops. A for loop is a repetition control structure that allows you to efficiently write a loop that needs to execute a specific number of times. The syntax of for loop in MATLAB is such that we have like for index is equal to values. For the specific index of values, execute the following program, and once you executed the following program, we will end it. Okay, end. So this is the generic notation of for loop in MATLAB, and I will show you in a moment how we write for loop in MATLAB. If the expression evaluates to true, then the block of code inside the if statement will be executed. If the expression evaluates to false, then the first set of code after the end statement will be executed. So these are some basic notations that we can use for index is equal to values. Okay, so basically, for example, let's say that values is an matrix of 3 elements in it. Okay, so then in that case, the for loop will be executed 3 times. So basically, it depends on the length of the matrix or the values here. Okay, so there are multiple ways you can actually play around with this index is equal to values statement here. I mean, you can define this statement in multiple ways, which I have discussed here. You can define in the form of colon, like initial value colon last value. You can define in the form of colon, but also define the interval in it. Okay, so initial value, interval, and then final value. Then you can either just simply equate it to a matrix that has some specific elements in it, a row matrix that has specific elements in it, for example 3 values. In that case, it will execute 3 times. So this is the how you can actually write a for loop in MATLAB. Let's go and exercise that concept in MATLAB. So in order to declare a for loop, we will write for, then we will write variable a is equal to the values. Okay, in this case, we are running values from 1 colon 10. That is, the for loop will run from 1 till 10, and for every iteration, it will execute this for loop body here. Okay, fprintf. It will execute this function fprintf, and within it will pass 2 input arguments. The first one is actually a string with the percentage d in it, and the other one is actually the value a. That means that it will print this statement where percentage d will be replaced by the value of a, and it will keep on updating till it reaches 10. So let me run this code for you. Now you can see that actually the a runs from when the value of a is 1 to the value of a is 10. What if I told you like we can also suggest some intervals in it? Okay, for example, if like for right here we have like a 1 to 10. What if the interval is 2? For example, the value will run from a, then 3 and so on. So let's see how does it go. So now you see that a will run from 1, then with the interval of 2, it will run 3, 5, 7, and 9. Okay, so that's how you can actually play around with the values right now. But I also told you, like, we can also pass a matrix to it. So A, basically it's a for loop where values will be defined by that matrix. For example, we say 2, 4, 6, and 7. Now let me run this code for you. Now you see that now for loop will execute 4 times, where each with every time a value is updated to this specific set of values, 2, 4, 6, 7. So that's how you can actually execute a for loop in MATLAB. Now what's about nested loop? Okay, so MATLAB allows you to use one loop inside another loop. Following section shows few examples to illustrate the concept. The syntax of a nested loop and while loop statement in MATLAB is such that you can use 2 for loops. For example, if you have a first stage of for loop, then within that stage for loop you have a second for loop, and you can use this kind of loop to iterate in a matrix that has an order of PQ, that has an order of rows and columns in it. Okay, so you can use actually for loop, and the same way you can also use nested while loop in the same way. Okay, so we will have expression, and you will have the first while expression and the whole body of that while loop. Then you will have the outer body of the while loop. If the expression evaluates to true, then the block of code inside the if statement will be executed. If the expression evaluates to false, then the first set of code after the end statement will be executed. So this is basically an example. This is a function that is used to print only the prime numbers. Okay, and for this purpose we are using nested for loops. We have first stage of for loop I is equal to 2 colon 10. Then we have second stage of for loop j is equal to 2 colon 100, and based on the mode and the statement here, we will print the values of prime number. If you don't know prime, that is they are prime number. Okay, so let's execute this block of code in MATLAB. So now you see that it prints the prime numbers. Okay, now there's some additional things that you can actually learn when dealing with loops exactly. So the first one is actually the break statement. So basically what does a break do is actually it breaks the loop and gets out of it. Okay, so basically it will then ends the loop at all. Okay, based on some conditions it will end the loop and it will exit the loop without evaluating this expression here. So for example, we have a is equal to 10. The first statement expression while loop will evaluate this situation if a is less than 20, which in this case is true. What it will do, it will print the value of a by using fprintf function, and then it will update the value of a is equal to a1 plus 1. As a value of a keep on updating every value, a condition will occur where it sees that a is greater than 15. Okay, and if it finds that a is greater than 15, it will break the loop. It will exit from the while loop. So this is the condition. This is the methodology we are going to use for break statement. Let me run this code for you so you can better understand the concept behind break statement. Now you see that this code run when the values of a was 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. It also prints the value of 15, but after printing the values of 15, a gets updated to 16. Okay, and once it finds that 16 is greater than 15, which is true condition. Okay, so based on that condition true, it will break the while loop. So that's how you can use to break a while loop. So this basically it breaks the while loop and exit out of loop. And in the same way, we have a function of continue. Okay, a break will totally end the loop, while continue will only skip for a specific body. Okay, so that's how it is. For example, we have this code here. Let me just, we have a is equal to 10, and it the first while we will write a first while loop where it evaluates whether a is less than 20. If that's true, we will have another set of condition. And if you don't know about how you can actually use if statement or conditional statement, don't be overwhelmed by it. I'm going to write a series of video. In the next video, I'm going to teach you about conditional statement, where we'll deal with if and else statement. So stay tuned for that video. So just for right now, you just keep that in mind. This is how you define an if statement. So if, then expression, and within that expression, we will, if that expression is true, we will execute the body. Okay. That being said, so when it finds that a is equal to 15, we will update the value of a, and we will use continue statement. This continue statement will skip whatever the present in the while loop, and it goes to the next iteration. Okay, so basically it will skip the downward code body, and it will go on to the next iteration. So let me just run this block of code for you. So we have a is equal to 10. We are using while loop, and we are testing expression whether a is less than 20. If that's true, we will further evaluate as expression to find that if a is equal to 15. If a is not equal to 15, so this will not be executed, and it will only print the value of a, and then updates the value of a. When a is equal to 15, it will go to this execution, and it will use continue, and it will skip whatever the present beneath it and continue the next iteration. Let me just run this code. Now you see that when a was 15, it actually skipped the value. It actually skipped this code statement here, and actually goes towards the next iteration. So that's what we do mean by continue. Hope you are able to understand the function of continue and break. If you don't understand, if you have some questions, feel free to write down your questions. I will be happy to help you out. That's it for this today's video. I hope this tutorial have been helpful to you. In the next video, I'm going to teach you about conditional statement, if-else statements. So that's it for now. Thank you for joining me, and I will catch you soon in the next video.